Hey Inside Algebra guys, Mr. Castoni here. We are moving on to a new chapter. This chapter is chapter 7, objective 4. It is called using elimination to solve an equation, okay? To solve a system of equations. So the first thing we're talking about today is right here at the top of your notes. I want to make sure you take notes today. So you can submit these notes so we can see them. Elimination. An elimination is the removing of one variable from a system of equations by adding like terms with the same coefficient. So it's kind of like a big funny looking addition problem is what it's going to boil down to. So here we go. I am looking at the first problem here. And I notice the first example, actually the first example is below, but this is the first one we're looking at to kind of practice problem this. Here we have a negative 3y and a positive 3y. These are the ones that are going to actually be eliminated. If you're missing 3y and you find 3y, you're just back to 0. So we can call this 0, but really it's nothing. It's a nothing, right? So we don't even need it. Okay. This 18x, we're going to add it with a negative 3x. So 18x minus 3x is 15x. Okay, this has already been eliminated, we said, so it doesn't mean anything. And then I have a negative 6 and a negative 9. So again, we add those up. Negative 6 and negative 9 gives us negative 15. So now this is something we've seen before. 15x equals negative 15. We know we want to get the variable by itself. So I'm going to divide each side. Since this is multiply, I divide each side by 15. I do the same thing to each other, leaving the x over here, equals negative 15 divided by 15 is negative 1. So I got half of my answer, right? I know that the x is negative 1. What I don't know is the y. So I'm going to actually take this and put it back into one of the other problems. I'm just going to pick the bottom one. It doesn't matter. You can use any of them you want. But out of this one, I just picked the bottom one. So look, negative 3x we know is negative 1. So negative 3, x is negative 1, plus 3y equals negative 9. So I'm taking this whole problem, putting in the negative 1 for x, and now we're going to start solving this. Again, trying to find the y that we're missing right here. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. So I get positive 3 plus 3y equals negative 9. I have some like terms, so I can subtract 3, subtract 3. So it leaves me 3y equals negative 9 and a negative 3. What does that make? Well, negative 12. Divide by negative 3, because that's multiply right there. Leaves me the y all by itself. And negative 12 divided by 3 is a negative 4. So I found my y, negative 4. So there's the first sample. And I'm going to do the other examples with you. And again, I want you writing this down on your note page so we can practice going over all this before you get your homework assigned. All right, first example. What you're going to notice here is these can be eliminated, right? A positive 7y and a negative 7y. If you want to think about it in something relevant, like think about it, it's 7 degrees outside, so it's 7 degrees above 0. And if it drops 7 degrees, we're back at 0 again. So this is really gone. It doesn't exist. They cancel each other out because we're adding these two equations. So now let's add this. This is a negative 6x, and this is a positive 9x. Those are like terms, though they can go together. You get 3x. So just remember to add your coefficients and bring down your variable. Negative 6 and negative 9 make negative 6 and positive 9 make 3. So I got 3x. This is eliminated, hence the name of this is called elimination. And I have a negative 12 and a positive 18, so I end up with a 6. Okay. Now I can divide this by 3, divide this by 3, and I find out x is 2. So again, I got half my answer. I got 2. I just don't know my y yet. And the way to know my y, well, I pick one of these to throw this into. Doesn't really matter. I'll go with the top since I went with the bottom one the last time, just to show you. It doesn't matter which one you choose. So I'm going to write this out. Negative 6x, well, we know x is going to be 2, plus 7y equals negative 12. And again, you're just putting like terms together. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12, plus 7y equals negative 12. I got to bring in the opposite, so I'm going to opposite plus 12 to plus 12. That makes this gone. Leaves me 7y equals, look, a negative 12 and a positive 12 make 0. Divide by 7, I get y equals 0. So on this one, the ordered pair point, the point that these two lines cross, are 2, 0. That's where they will cross on a graph. Let's try the next one. And again, if you need to watch these again, that's the whole point of pause and rewind. Okay? So next one. You can see what's being eliminated right now. Another 7 right here in the middle. I promise, they get harder than this, guys. Don't worry. And I'm going to add these up. A 2 and a 3 make 5. Bring down your x. 4 and a 6 make 10. Divide by 5, I find out x is 2. Well, that one was pretty easy. I get a 2 right there. Just don't know my y yet. I'm going to sub this back in. Doesn't matter where I put it. I'll go to the top again, just for fun. Here we go. So I'm going to put that 2 into the top problem. 2x, x is 2, we already said, plus 7y equals 4. 2 times 2, 4, plus 7y equals 4. Subtract a 4, I get 7y equals 0. Divide by 7. Oops, running out of space. And you can see I get another y equals 0 here. And here we go, we get the same thing. That's where they cross. Purely just coincidental that you get the same answer here as you got here. But these were nice, easy problems for us to work on. All right, let's try example 3. Example 3, up at the top. Well, which one do we think is going to get eliminated here? I'm going to add these two up. Kind of an obvious one, right? A positive 8y and a negative 8y. They cancel each other out. They're opposites from each other. So they eliminate. They're gone. So we're going to add everything else up. 4x and a 9x gives me 13x. Nothing there equals 9 plus a 17. I get a 26. Divide by 13 since that's multiplying. And I can see x equals 2 because 26 divided by 13 is 2. So I can say my x is 2 right there. So again, sub this back in. Pick whichever one you want. I'll pick the bottom this time. Doesn't matter which one you pick. 2 goes in there. So let's see. 9 times the x, which we said was 2, minus 8y equals 17. Okay, 9 times 2, 18. Finish your problem. Subtract the 18 since that's an addition and it's like terms here. So that's eliminated there. We have 8y equals a 17 minus an 18. Well, that's a negative 1. Okay, I'm going to divide by 8. And, whoops, divide by negative 8. And this one comes out a little funny. You don't see this too often, but on occasion, I get y equals a negative over a negative is a positive, so I get a 1/8. Once in a while, we get something kind of crazy like that, but don't fear, because you're done. That's your answer right there. The point of 2 and 1/8. Okay, maybe a bad example, but it will still work. Okay, you don't have to take it any further than that. You're done. All right, let's try an easier one. Number 4. Try to find which to eliminate. Well, obviously the x's can't be eliminated, but the y's can. A negative y and a positive y. Those are gone. So that leaves me an x and a 3x. Well, if I have 1x, ultimately we understand there's a 1 right there. So 1x and a 3x, so that's 4x being added, equals 10 plus 2, 12. Divide this by 4 and this by 4, gives me x equals 3. So I think that's pretty easy at that point. I just don't know my y. I got to get that part. And again, I get my y by subbing this in. I'm going to go to the top. Okay. So that 3 goes in for x. And so let's write that out. Since that's just an x up there, 3 plus y equals 10. Subtract this 3. It's a like term over here. That's gone. Y equals a 7. So I find out my point is 3, 7. And you're done. Again, these are pretty easy to start with. We will build on these. Let's try one more. Which one is being eliminated? Well, I have a negative 2y and a positive 2y, so those are going to be the ones that are eliminated. Remember an understood 1 right here. So 1x plus 2x, 3x. This is gone. Equal signs. 4 plus 8 is a 12. Divide by 3, x equals a 4. So I know my x is a 4. So let's put that. X is a 4. All right, let's sub this back in. Take this x, put it into any one you want. Let's go into the top. So I just have an x up there, so 4 minus 2y equals 4. I'll subtract the 4 here, subtract the 4 there. Negative 2y equals 0. Divide by negative 2. I know y equals 0 on this one. So you can see the whole picture. Divided by negative 2, and 0 divided by negative 2 is 0. So I find out my y is 0, and I'm done. Okay, pretty easy. It's going to be your time now to make sure you finish all your notes and submit them over Google Classroom. We'd like to see them. And your time now is going to be for homework. So I am going to get you initially started with your homework so you can see what that's going to look like. Your homework is going to look like this. Day 1 homework. Again, we're not trying to trick you. It's going to be nice and easy to start with. Here you can see some elimination going on. Right here, look how I have a positive 3x and a negative 3x. So those are eliminated, leaving me to add a 5y and a negative 3y. Well, 5 minus 3, you can kind of see that going right there. Well, that's a 2y equals, and I have a negative 23 and a positive 21. Well, that's going to be a negative 2. And again, don't be afraid to use your calculator. Divide everything by 2, and I should see y equaling negative 1. So I found, actually on this one, I found the y. I have not found the x yet. Again, to find any of these, all I got to do is put this in to the top or the bottom. I'll go to the bottom for this one. So here I get, and I'm going to put this into the bottom, so I have negative 3x minus 3. Remember, this is a y, so it goes right there for the y, equals 21. Put together what you can. These are terms we can multiply, so 3x, negative 3 times positive, sorry, negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. So I subtract 3 to bring in the opposite. I'm left with negative 3x equals 21 minus 3, 18. Divide by negative 3. I can see what I'm left with is an x equaling 18 divided by negative 3, negative 6. So there's my x. Okay, so this is going to be your time to practice. We will go over some of these. I hope to be with you on Wednesday to go over some of these. We have a short class on Wednesday, so I think we can go over a lot of questions, but it's expected that you practice and submit this work. I am going to have you stop on number 14, okay? Stop on number 14. If you see on the next page, right here, actually take it back. Stop on number 12. Stop on number 12. Okay? So you have really 11 problems to do in class. Take your time, work, and talk to each other as needed. I think you will be fine. We'll go over some of these Tuesday. Do not come in with blank pages and bring these pages with you. Have a great day, guys. I can answer emails or questions throughout the day if you have any. Take care.